Greetings, Upstanders. Dr. O here. And I have to say that I've been amazed that a few weeks after, uh, you know, former First Lady Michelle Obama and her brother launched their podcast, and conversations have been going on about the success of her podcast and post presidency and her life and so on and so forth. I'm still amazed that people are talking about her decision to skip the inauguration, and I'm so appreciative of. Let's talk about a couple of things. First of all, off the top, I'm so appreciative of the fact that Michelle Obama is still, and as we expected, because she's freaking amazing, using her platform to empower people. Primarily women, I would say. Some say primarily black women, but to talk about the importance of taking back your story and owning your narrative and putting yourselves in positions where I first heard it from my sister Mwadi Dibinga that the idea of no being a complete sentence. And as we all look at Michelle Obama as someone who's been completely open about her experiences, but some of us have always seen her as like this superwoman, just crushes everything that's in front of her, and she's always been honest about talking with challenges raising kids, early days of their marriage, all of these different types of things, and now she's talking about it in her post-presidential life and talking about how she had to do everything to basically, represent as the first lady. And now she's in a space where she can basically reclaim her time, reclaim her story. And that should be powerful for people. But this leads me to the other problem that comes with this. Why does Michelle Obama reclaiming her story publicly, reclaiming her narrative, talking about the decisions that she chose to make, why does it have to translate into a problem with her marriage? Why does it have to translate into, and I'm sure that many people who are saying it's a problem in her marriage are attributing it to something that she's doing wrong. While at the same time, while people are still mad at her for not attending the inauguration, and I see people comparing, I saw Michael Steele talking about, well, look at Obama's marriage versus the Trump marriage. Who are you gonna look at and tell me which one has problems? And he talks about how like Melania wouldn't kiss him in public and all this other type of stuff. That's all fair to have that conversation, but I haven't seen anybody have the conversation while talking about Michelle Obama not appearing at the inauguration, talking about the fact that President Donald Trump, did not attend the inauguration of Joe Biden. You tell me, which is supposed to be a bigger story? The fact that the first lady, who hasn't been the first lady in 2 presidential terms, right, did not attend the inauguration that just happened, or the fact, and she was there for Trump's first inauguration, or the fact that a former president was not there for the transition of power, and that Vice President Pence had to be the one to do the ceremony. You tell me which one is bigger and which one should have been a bigger story. And you tell me why, at least in the last 2 weeks that I've heard conversations about why Michelle Obama didn't attend the inauguration, I've heard nobody bring up that point. Y'all still continue to give the rich white man of privilege a pass. You still choose to excuse his behaviors. Not to mention the fact that he had an insurrection to try to prevent Biden from even coming to power. The hypocrisy is real. Michelle Obama continues to expose it by not even saying certain things she don't even need to say. But I'm sharing my thoughts because just this week when I was watching these conversations about this, people went to Melania Trump, who, as relates to the public life, has been a terrible first lady. And there's really no comparison to make in terms of what Michelle Obama did and what Melania Trump did or is doing or not doing right now. But the fact that people still want to give a former president of the United States a pass for not even attending the inauguration and act as if that didn't happen and act as if that should not be a bigger story than anything Michelle Obama's saying. And Trump not attending the inauguration didn't lead to any conversations about his marriage. Trump being able to have young women like Laura Lee Loomer come into the White House and hang out and basically have policy change, based on her whims. Nobody's talking about that as a potential problem with the marriage of Donald Trump and Melania Trump. Nobody's talking about many of these things. Don't Donald Trump's out there during the campaign signing women's chests, right? During the no one's talking anything about there being a problem in their marriage. And Melania Trump is nowhere to be found right now. What about the events that she's not attending right now? Where's the smoke for the current First Lady and what she is not doing and her lack of presence? And so to compare a former First Lady to a current First Lady is problematic. But to also talk about her choosing not to attend the inauguration and still have no smoke for Donald Trump, who didn't attend his inauguration of Biden as president, shows America's continued hypocrisy in this space. And we need to call that out more. So I'm hoping that every time somebody brings up this idea for not attending the inauguration, don't compare it to Melania Trump. Don't talk about potential problems in their marriage if that's any of our business. Talk about the fact that the president didn't attend the inauguration and shift the conversation there and see how far that conversation continues. What are your thoughts? Let our brother know. Hit me up in the comments. Please feel free to like and subscribe and share with your folks as well. Let's get up to 20,000 subscribers. We're almost there. But I appreciate the daily conversations that we're having, and I got more coming, so stay tuned. Peace.